Yes.
Welcome, welcome to the Authorpreneur Summit. I am so excited to share Mae Rose with you today because I have gotten to know her over, well, about a year and a half now, and she is just an amazing human being and one of my favorite people to talk to. So I'm excited. I'll first give you a little bit about her official bio, and then we'll have conversation, and you'll get to hear her amazing Australian accent. So let me give you her official bio first. Mae Rose is the creator of The Best Introvert's Guide to Personal and Financial Freedom. She works specifically with women who are currently stressed out about missing out on financial opportunities because they feel voiceless and overlooked. Her program helps them identify their true strengths and skills so they can utilize them to create wealth and break free from the constraints of self-doubt and uncertainty. It empowers women to seize financial opportunities, achieve success in their careers and relationships, and pave the way for fulfilling lifestyle they've long envisioned but never thought possible. And so much more, so much more. So let's get to know Mae Rose a little bit. Thank you so much for being with us today, Mae.
Oh, Kathy, I'm absolutely delighted and thrilled to be here in your midst.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And so let's dive right in. Tell us about your latest book, your latest best-selling book, and you have a course from your best-selling book as well. Tell us a bit about what you got going on.
I do. Thank you. As you mentioned, the book is titled From Wall Street, from Wallflower to Wall Street Wealth.
Mhm.
It's the best introvert's guide to not go broke trying to get rich.
Mhm.
And I wrote this book because most of us have spent all our good savings on buying courses to
Mhm.
become something that we're not, and we can't achieve it. And being an introvert, we were trying to be in another category that wasn't us. So I designed a course and a book around being able to get there, just being yourself.
I love that because I mean, people might not know that when they look at us, either one of us, because we do publicly speak whenever given the opportunity, but I am a full-blown introvert. I really am. And rumor has it you are as well.
I've been from the day I hit the deck,
Mm.
and we suffered for it, but we thought it was a condition, but it's not. And it doesn't have to be fixed or cured. We just need to be accepted by ourselves to be able to work within the realms of our quiet nature.
Mm.
Because we can, most of the time, us introverts are the ones behind the scenes who create the opportunity for extroverts, etc., to become known. And we're the ones, the brains behind it. And sometimes we can even do it better. But we have this stigma or this old paradigm that because we're introverts, we are, well, basically dumb.
Mm.
So I had had a lifetime of that. I'd had enough. So I'd written other books and I'd done so many things, but this still held me back.
Mm.
So just by writing the book alone has helped me to get to know and accept and empower that introvert nature.
Mm. And I want to circle back around to some more things about your experience and everything else. So many things I want to share with everyone and dive into. But I have to say that I love that you specifically sought out introverts. It is a personal thing for me. Webster's dictionary, the definition is socially inept, which I think is so inaccurate and quite the stigma because I know a lot of extroverted people who are socially inept, so I don't think it's limited.
Yes.
And I learned at one point that it's really more about energy.
Yes.
For me as an introvert, I love being with people. I love talking to people. I love helping people. I enjoy speaking from the stage, where my extroverted counterpart, it might energize them and keep them going
Yeah.
and they've got nonstop energy when they're hanging out with people. For me,
Mhm.
at the end of the time that I have with people, I need to be quiet and recharge. Whereas somebody who tends to be an extrovert can just energizer bunny keep going.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's full of things that aren't needed. With
Mm,
with us, I've found that once we fine tune what we want to say, there's no more that needs to be said or even sold, because you cut out all the wasted time, because it allows us to be more grounded, deeper thinkers, and we usually are incredible organizers, creative, which gets overlooked. As I said, it's not something that needs to be cured, but that's come down right through from history, from when I was a young person. Our parents, because you were shy, you were just probably a little bit dumb. You'll just end up getting married and having 15 kids, and that's your role. But it didn't allow for those of us with a creative edge to become more. We just slunk back into that old paradigm and stayed there. And we missed out. And not anymore, girls. I've
yes.
solved the problem.
Yes. Yes. I
No
love
longer
it.
a problem.
Yes, because I think that if I had grown up more empowered rather than being quieted, told that, if you're an introvert, that means that you don't do those things. But instead, I got the message that if you're an introvert, you can still do those things. You just do them differently. Like if I had gotten that message, I might have gotten out there sharing my message with people sooner. And for anyone who happens to be watching who you feel like you're an introvert, you can have it all. You can share your message with people. You can make the money. You can have a big career. You can build an empire. You can do all those things that we see a lot of extroverted people do. And guess who's going to help you do that? Mae Rose.
Absolutely. And I searched the dictionaries from everyone that I could find. And I went to Mrs. Google, and everyone said the same thing. A few of them were a little bit more, like you said, that we were a challenge. But introversy isn't anything that we need to be afraid of. But it wasn't the word, it was what they perceived it to be. Because what
Mm,
we can develop is that middle ground. I think they call it ambivert, which means we can choose. When we have to be out there and extrovert, we can draw upon all of our skills and knowledge to do that. But when we choose, we can go back to be whatever in that introvert state, which is just means it's quiet.
yeah.
That
And
skill. Mm.
I love that. I love it. And share with us a bit about your background because I know you've had a lot of life experience that you bring to the conversation and to being able to teach and support people. So tell us a bit about your background, some of the life experiences you've had.
Oh, Kathy, I've been on the planet for a long time, and I'm very creative and adventurous. So my first career, I started off like everyone else, trying things that I didn't want to do, what I thought I had to do, because my father was an academic, and so I went, and I was hopeless at it because I just didn't fit in there. So I did start off my earlier career as a dance sport athlete, which means I became a gymnast and a dancer and ballroom dancing and modern gymnastics. But in the realms of wanting to become a famous dancer, I accidentally stumbled on the fact when I was 10 years old that I could design costumes. And so I started my first job by default as a child designing costumes for other dancers. So that was my career for many years, and I could make something out of nothing. But then I started to get a little bit bored with that, so I started a million other things with photography, etc. And then I did for some years rally driving and photography for magazines about the rally driving, women in rally driving, etc. But I wasn't all that good at it, but I enjoyed it anyway. That was a lot of fun, I can tell you that. And then later on, I just decided that I'd go into, because of my family illness. My first husband died when he was young. You know what that's like. You feel helpless. And I made it my business to find out what I could do to help people who were sick. So I spent the rest of my long career as a naturopath and an Ayurvedic therapist. So that was interesting. But after a few hundred years of doing that, I decided then I'm finally going to do what I want to do, and that's become an author.
Mm.
And that's where I am today. But it was a long story to get to that point as well, because I didn't think I could, being an introvert, because when you hear interviews, they're all got big personalities, and I didn't have a big personality. So that held me back because of that stigma.
Mm. Well, I would kind of argue with you there because I think you do have a big personality.
I do now.
I know what you mean, though. I know that a lot of coaches and especially very extroverted personalities tend to like the spotlight just gravitates towards them.
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah.
say it that way.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean, but I enjoy our conversations so much, and I just learned more about you today. I knew about your health practitioner and coaching people and speaking and authoring several books. I knew all of that. I didn't know that you started as a dancer and making costumes. That's so fun. I could totally see it though, because you're such a creative. Like that makes such sense.
I was very it found me. I didn't know I could, but I realize now that because we were brought up in the country, very isolated, and my father was a very strict man, and so we had to be, the old saying, we were to be seen and not heard. We were to be not seen and not heard.
Mm.
That to be seen and not heard came in a bit later in our a generation, but it was too late. We'd already established a personality to be not seen and not heard. So I found my solace in books. Dad thankfully had this amazing old bookcase, and it was filled with, in my era, the Encyclopedia Britannica and National Geographic. That was about it. And the Woman's Weekly, the Reader's Digest, because Dad wouldn't have any rubbish in the house. I am so thankful for that, because I saw what I wanted to see, places I wanted to be and wanted to go, and I saw Dame Margot Fontaine. That was my dream, to become a famous ballerina. Well, that didn't work out. I remember in the Eisteddfod, and I had to do all this because my parents didn't approve. And so I had to do this Eisteddfod, a competition. I didn't have a costume. I couldn't ask Mum because she would have said absolutely no. So she had one of those old treadle sewing machines. And so I gathered all the bits of paper and even flowers out of the garden and made myself a costume. Well, I turned up with all the Shirley Temples, and I looked and felt like Raggedy Ann. So, and I did this number on stage, and when I got up, I was so shy. I went to past the adjudicator. I just grabbed the piece of paper. She said, basically, all I heard was, well, your dancing's a bit crap, so I wouldn't even think about it if I were you. A lot of work to be done. So I just grabbed the paper and went out. As I went out the backstage, I was surrounded by all the other kids who said, would you make my costumes? And on the piece of paper that the judge gave me was a huge congratulations to your mother for the innovative costume. It was the best costume we've seen for a long time. So isn't that interesting? Found me. I couldn't tell my mother. She would kill me for using the old sewing machine. So from there it grew. And I ended up becoming a wardrobe mistress for a lot of reviews and some of the Australian Opera Company as well. So, and a lot of TV shows. So, and I loved it. And I danced in between it as well. So it was an interesting, and I didn't have the value in myself.
Mhm.
If I'd have known then I was worth my value, but we didn't know we had a value. That's the downside of being an introvert. None of those things ever come up in conversation.
Mm.
So I've made it my business now because working in the health industry, I discovered that a lot of people are ill because they haven't got a voice or they're broke. Fix those two. It's amazing. It's a miracle how a lot of symptoms, a lot of illnesses actually disappear. That was my biggest breakthrough.
I love that as an aha. I
Mm-hmm.
love that because
Mm-hmm.
so many of us want to contribute,
Mm-hmm.
and probably people who are watching this now have had that thought of, I want to share my message. I want to get my message out. I want to change people's lives. And doing that, I have to tell you, it is the thing that lights me up and makes me overcome anything, is when I get to share and help people. That's my favorite thing in the whole world. I'm grateful because I used to hide. I hid behind my clients. Many of you know my story. I used to have agoraphobia, couldn't leave the house for 3 months, like couldn't
Mm-hmm.
even open the door to go check the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So I've come a long way to be able to do that. And thank God I have, because there's nothing more rewarding. And then absolutely, you are right. Like money makes the world go around. It's not about zeros and numbers. It's really about, what does it buy? It buys you freedom, it buys you choices, it buys you better health. It just happens to be what makes our world go round. So, yeah, if you're able to share your voice and you have a voice in the world and you're making money, especially if you're making money having that voice.
Yes, yes.
That's it. That's it,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes. And I think because we've had that crippling agoraphobia that
Mm,
prevented us from even when I was in the theatre, even when I was given the accolades at the end as the costume designer, I wouldn't even go out and collect the flowers
mm.
because I was literally crippled by fear. Just couldn't do it.
I
I
get it.
still feel it, but I overcome it. I know how to deal with it. And I draw upon the things that I was and am good at, the things I've developed. And I'm so proud that I had the opportunity to work in all of those fields because it gave me the skills and the ability to look a person in the eye and say, I know exactly how you feel.
Mm.
And they know it. And that's more encouraging than giving them all this highlights about and the difference, teaching them the difference between being in the spotlight and not the limelight was
Mm.
my big breakthrough, that I can be in the spotlight without having to be in the limelight. And there is a big difference.
Mm. Love that. And also, with all of these experiences, you've been there, done that. So
Mm.
you can help people overcome something. You can say, oh, you do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and you will get there quicker, sooner, faster, because I've already proven that.
Mhm.
So I love that. You've got plenty of experience to share. Um, and I wanted to ask, so as a best-selling author, what are some of the benefits that you personally have seen as a best-selling author? I love this answer. I've gotten so many different answers from people. What has it been for you?
There are a lot of benefits that you don't even actually realize that that you are benefiting from this. And I found that even in therapy, I used to say to people, write it down, write your story down, or write your particular thing down so that you can actually talk to yourself. It's self dialogue, it's a voice dialogue that you have with yourself. And by writing it down, even just freehand to start with your ideas, that just moves so much doubt out of the way. And you go back and read something that you read and think, oh, did I write that? You even surprise yourself. And then you realize, well, you didn't, it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're still enjoying yourself. And that's the part of it. It's the story behind the story that is I found fascinating. The fun we had, it was a bit scary at first, but after those little achievements and your research and you realize how many ideas you do have and how much experience you do have. And that is so uplifting, so upbuilding, and encourages yourself actually. But when you've got the guidance of the great Kathy, you can't go wrong.
And I love that your most recent book is everything you've just talked about kind of culminated into one of that you want to help people, particularly introverts, to be able to have a voice, to be able to share that voice and make a profit doing it and help them build their dreams, their dreams.
Absolutely. And the biggest things is for me that I don't have to be anything but myself. I can be me. I don't have to change into something that I'm not. I can actually build upon it. And actually is a benefit to be able to look at how much you will tolerate from the outside world when they start to knock on your door, tell you you're all wrong.
Mm.
That silence was so frustrating for all of us that have challenged with that. But with writing the book, I was asked about it, and at first it was difficult because I felt sort of like, who'd want to listen to me? And it was those little steps that brought me out of my shell to a huge degree. Even my first webinar way back was terrifying. I couldn't put my microphone on. You know how your mind goes a blur. But now those little tiny skills, one by one, will build you into something powerful and someone powerful, because they're skills that anyone can learn. So, and they're the things that terrified us, and they're nothing compared to that amazing breakthrough you have when you actually start to get to know yourself. And I think that's written somewhere in some famous book, isn't it?
Indeed. And I know that you have your course based on your best-selling book for helping people to get through all of those steps, all those processes, learn all of those skills, be able to find their voice, be able to share their voice and turn it into a career of their dreams, right?
Without a doubt, yes. Because of the challenges I had and many other people like me, I've broken it down into 3 easy steps. And the first step is about what we've been talking about. Let's move all that unnecessary stuff out of the way. What do you want? What is your dreams? Let's bring that vision, empower that vision that you do have. Let's look at your future self. Now, to do that, to become wealthy and creative and get yourself out there, you do need to learn some new things. And one of the things I found was creating that $1 million brand.
Mm.
So if you've got a brand, you don't have to say much. It says it all for you. Your colors, it's not about just dressing. It's about building who you are. People instantly know who you are. And then build upon that by having your $1 million message. For us, it's hard to waffle. I sound like I've been waffling for 2 hours now, but if people ask you, what do? You can say it within an instant and you leave just enough mystery for them to want to know more. That makes them follow you instead of you trying to get your message out, the old elevator talk. If you can, design your $1 million message that says all about you and what you do in a few sentences, you then become something that people want to know. And then from there, I look at your X factor and what I call your $1 million stride. It's actually your $1 million walk. It's how you walk into a room. It's not about modeling. It's about your presence. Your quietness is the most powerful presence. What have I learned about all this? The power is in the pause. So making a grand entrance with a pause, and you've got your branding all done, it's already spoken for. And then the next part of the course, we teach you how to build the business around that.
I love that. And I'm a big fan of keeping it simple for me, for them. Keep it simple. And 3 steps, I love that because you can really hone in on it. And I know that as a part of building your business, building your brand, sharing that message, one of the things that you recommend is that people author a book. So for anyone who happens to be watching that is a new up and coming author, do you have any words of encouragement that will keep them going in their endeavors?
I certainly do. And I think it's time for us to realize that this is the best time in history to be able to write your story. You don't have to have a title. You don't have to have degrees. People are hungry for your stories because we've become more real. I think as history has progressed and society has grown up, we now have the advantage of being what we thought was a nobody and a nothing, can actually reach to some hearts and souls that are hungry for your message. Even small message can make a huge difference in someone's life. So it's the best time in history to write a book. And we've got, as I said before, Kathy, I've been through a couple of these indies courses with other publishers, and they didn't work out because they weren't real. This is the first time that I've actually had the right message from the publisher, and you've been able to give us a guideline, and your support I have, look, it is unsurpassed, Kathy. And I'm not just saying that to, what's the word, blow in your ear. It's a bit hard from here, down under, but you made us feel like one of the gang, one of the guys, you made it feel real easy. You drew out stuff out of us that we didn't have to think. It was already there. We didn't have to invent it. So I encourage anybody that's going to write a book is to look into Kathy's program, because in my book, I'm steering every woman that I meet that's done my course over to Kathy, because I know that'll be the next step from there. And I can't recommend it enough, because I'm already talking to hundreds of women anyway and steering in that direction. So that is my reckon. I wouldn't believe there would be anyone else on the planet could do it like Kathy.
I appreciate that so much, and it touches me every time you say it, because I'm doing what I love to do. I'm doing what I know and what I can contribute, and it is absolutely my pleasure. Every time I see one of you become a best-selling author, it makes my day, like I'm right there with you. So thank you for that. Thank you. I'm sorry that you have had bad experiences, and I've seen people come to me, a little shell-shocked and a little standoffish because they've had some bad experiences. And like, no, really,
Financially, yeah, it's
I have
costly
the
business.
formula. It's, let's go. And of course, the community. So, I'm just so happy that you and I have been able to get to know each other, that I've been able to help you with your most recent bestseller, and that we're going to continue to help make bestsellers together and
Absolutely. I'm
reach
working on
people in
my next.
Australia. I love that.
Yes, absolutely, Kathy. And it's that magnetic pull that you have, because we feel safe. We can be real. We can actually draw on our human experiences that make us good authors. And
Yeah,
then
couldn't agree
then
more.
make them into courses is even much better,
Yes.
because you get that length of time that you choose to run your course, to get to know. And that's how I got to know myself a lot more after my bad experiences. I didn't trust another publisher as far as I could throw one. And I did come in with you know,
Mhm.
concern, but gradually. But it was very quick. It was only in I would say the first lesson that we had, I felt, I know, comfortable straight away. I knew that you were genuine, you were real, and you were full of and come from the heart.
Good. I'm so glad that comes through, because genuinely
It
it
does.
does come from the
And I
heart.
think everyone should know that too, because we've been around all the rah-rahs
Ah,
that
yeah.
you don't even see them again. You don't even hear from them again. They've got your money, but they don't follow you up. And you're there.
Mm.
Whatever I've ever wanted to do, if I've got a question, I just ask you, and it's there. So after service,
Yeah.
that is.
And I'm easy. to access. Like anybody can reach out to me on Facebook, and I'm entirely approachable. I love when people ask me questions or even post in the Bestsellers Guild, a stranger will pop in and ask a question. Like, I love that. I live for it. I'm sure you feel the same way about helping people find their voice these days.
Absolutely. And it's getting more rare in our society.
Mm,
It's a busy world, busy world. But
yeah.
thankfully, we've got a few years, and I've got a few more than you, Miss Kathy. But they're the qualities that I really want to be able to get across to, particularly women, that they don't have to give up their femininity to become wealthy, become famous even, and be able to become authors. Keep that lovely gift that we've got, that we can do that without being aggressive. And so by writing, that actually brings out more of your charm, of your magnificence. So, and being able to be in a safe environment where we have all been, that has been, and I can't wait to write more books.
Yay. I look forward to it too. All right, so I want to make sure that everybody hears about the free downloadable book that you have. So I can't believe you're giving away your book to just anybody who asks. It's just thank you. What a generous gift for all of our authorpreneurs. So to get a free copy of your ebook, From Wallflower to Wall Street, Wealth, and 3 free months membership to the May Day's $1 Million Mindset Club. I'll give you guys the link. It's a little longer link, but I'll make sure that the link is here below. It's easy for you guys to click on. Tell us a bit about, especially the membership to May Day's $1 Million Mindset Club. We get a free copy of the book and 3 months membership. Tell me about it.
Absolutely. I love to be able to offer more than a book. And in the membership, because I've got so many modalities like finding the right foods that suit your body type, because for us introverts, the right kind of foods can help. And we do our own little cooking show. We've got recipes and remedies to share. We've also got some interesting people for you to meet, because I love to interview and rove around the countryside, showing you interesting places. So the membership has got a lot of impactful but insightful stuff that is going to benefit people as well. And it's so easy, it will be so easy to access.
Nice. I love that. Thank you so much. What a generous gift. And so if they want to get in touch with you in social media and connect, how do they find you?
My beautiful Daisy has arranged all that. That's another thing I wanted to say. I didn't know how to do social media. And then, if the truth be known, I still don't. But I do have my lovely Daisy who does it all. So we're on all of them apparently. I don't even know that, but you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. What's the other one? TikTok.
I was going to say TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of YouTube things out there. I'm not even sure what they're called, but we're there.
Fantastic. And then, of course, during this summit, of course, they can interact with you in Bestsellers Guild. And keep in mind the time difference. So for those of you in the US who are late night people, it'll be the perfect time for you to talk to Mae Rose because the time difference. So for example, um, I do my book writing course, 90-Day Bestseller Formula, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Like, so on Wednesday at 4 p.m., I'm here on camera in Zoom, and Mae Rose is in Australia, and
Day
she's all the
ahead.
way into Thursday morning.
Yeah. Which was
So around 4 p.m. here, Pacific time is when Australia is waking up and getting started. So into the evening is their daytime. So especially if you're around in the evening and if you're a night owl, you'll have great access to Mae Rose inside the Facebook group where you guys can communicate. So I love talking to authors from around the world, and it's so interesting that you're already into the next day.
Yes. And that's what's so good about this. I mean, once we used to have to travel if we wanted to, there was no such thing as webinars. When we wanted to get our message across, we'd have to go and book a plane, book accommodation, book a venue, and then do it all over and come back again. And this is so easy. What more could a girl want? I mean, we almost get carried around in a hypothetical Sudan chair. I mean, you can't get any easier than we've got. So there's no real excuses. Do you agree, Kathy?
I couldn't agree more. And the thing is that, you know, no matter who you are, like the world is available to you. So your message may not resonate with the people in your small town or where you live, but let me tell you, there's somebody around the world that needs your message. So I love that, like, you're able to help people in the United States, UK, Australia, right there in your home backyard. Like, anyone that enjoys what you have to say, who learns from what you have to teach, the world has access to you. And I love that about technology. So thank you
But,
for being
I
here
have to
today,
pull
Mae
out
Rose.
being over there though, Kathy. I'm coming over, so look out. Look out.
I'm excited to see you and get to hug you in person finally.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it so much.
Me too. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. Great conversation as always. And again, you guys can connect with Mae Rose in social media, in particular, Facebook. She'll have her link right there. I'll have the link available for you for her free gift. Get that book. Join the club for free. Free for 3 months. That's a no-brainer. Just jump right in and enjoy. So thanks again and have a good day. We'll see you soon.
Kathy, thank you so much. Love always speaking with you.
Thank you.